I actually got a day of an actual like.
That's awesome. Laura still is in our group text.
Laura. Laura. She just make random comments about Laura sometimes in the text.
And if only Laura gave our meetings.
Only Laura. I bet Laura knows the answer to this.
Hey, Laura, what do you think?
We'll email you.
This is 12, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The only problem that I had on the question or the homework was part I of 6. I mean, I looked it up, so I have the answer now, but I wasn't sure how to get it.
This is number 6.
Yeah, part I of number 6.
Part HI. You just take the confidence interval. Well, you have the little Excel thing that does it for you.
Is that the one you download?
Yeah.
Can you show me where you got that? Because I downloaded it. Mine was just a little spreadsheet. Like, I don't have the thing with it. It has the boxes with every...
It's in chapter 12. Like, if you just type...
Oh, it's in chapter...
Well, it's in a lot of the chapters. But if you just, like, Control F and then you do XL or whatever, like, for an Excel file.
I did it, like... I'll show you the one I got. Maybe. What the heck did I get? I just think I got it out of the prep assignment. Anyways, so I got it and it was like, can I see yours? Because yours had like.
By some miracle, we can get on.
Is it this one?
Yeah. And it's for units 2 and 4.
Okay, because I've never got to this. I've just got to a page that had like 1 billion Excel files.
Oh yeah, well,
that's not the one.
That's a different page. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one that just gives you specific scenarios. But this is the one that I want. That's what this is.
Yeah. This chapter is what again?
12.
Or like the, what are we doing it? Because I've just done 3 of them or 2 of them. So I forget.
Okay. Any chapter?
Yeah, yeah.
Which part?
If you type in Control F, it's like right below the last one.
Oh, it's not Control F. That's Command F. And what do I type it?
XLS.
So this was.
Because which one did you download?
Oh, this is where. Okay, so this is the pairs that are connected.
Yeah.
Okay, the matched pairs.
So did you download all of them?
That's what
or did you
I'm
download them individually?
I just downloaded the one for units 2 and 4. This has everything you need.
When do we use Unit 1? I mean, that's the one we used in the first couple lessons? Or?
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because I was like, how the freak are they getting some of these numbers? Like, I had no idea what was going on. Because I was downloading those other Excels. But...
Yeah, I feel like they taught us how to calculate all these things, and now they just let us use the Excel stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully that.
Well, I mean, I just think it would take too much time to like try to do this for every problem, especially with what they're trying to get us to do. So that's probably why they just teach you the concepts and then let you use the stuff.
Did you add those other columns, those variable 1, variable 2?
No, it's called 2 sample t-test.
Oh. Oh, there we go. Sweet.
Makes life a little easier.
That makes it a lot easier because I was like looking up formulas online to do all this crap. Okay. Well. And are we allowed to use this on the test?
I think so. Well, because it's in every one of those videos. Like, it's like what he tells you to do in every one of the videos. So
I also want to ask you, because I've made my own formula sheet that just calculates everything for me. I'm assuming we could use it in this, but I don't know. Okay, well.
Okay.
yeah, mine just has all the answers for all the tests.
Yeah. Mine sees in the future and just gets everything for me.
It's got some AI on it. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I guess besides that,
Because does this have you do a histogram? No, maybe not.
yeah, it
It
did.
does? Okay.
In question 5. Yeah.
Because there's a thing that calculates does histograms as well. Do you use that spreadsheet?
No.
Because I made histograms in here, but they were like all inaccurate.
Yeah, that's the link I got. And I created a histogram off of that data, and it
Yeah.
looks terrible.
Yeah, it's like
That's the link I downloaded before. And I was like, where's all this stuff coming from?
I think it's this one right here. Yeah, because he uses it in the video too. But this histogram thing actually makes him look normal. I don't know what the difference is.
Did you get that from the same page?
No, this one's on. I don't know where I got this one.
I swear they have us
Wiki.
download so many things. It's like,
Yeah. It's called quantitative descriptive statistics, so it might be just on that big page if you control F it.
on the lesson page.
It's on here. Quantitative descriptive statistics.
Oh, maybe then
Is
it's
that it?
yeah.
It's the unit 1 file.
Okay. Well, I just need to download all those, I guess. Then they'll make
Yes.
everything make more sense. Okay.
The mean of the difference is 0. Yeah, because okay, so this chapter is talking about the mean of the difference, and so it's saying if you have two things that are paired with each other, which means if you know one, then you would know the other variable, or like you'd know which other variable to use. So it's like if they're a married couple, if you know the husband, you know what the other or person is that you use.
Gosh, I'm pretty pissed about this crap. It's so stupid. Gosh. Oh, yeah, I don't have any questions anymore. So, you guys
Okay.
want to start it?
Yeah, I can try it.
Sure. Let's see why not.
So, I woke up at like 4 and just didn't fall back asleep. Just laid there.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
What is the value of the test?
I completed the individual preparation assignment for tutoring group meeting. Yes, actively participate in this group. Oh, some more things to download.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they can't consolidate some of this.
That's like my one annoyance with this class is just that, all the downloading things. If you don't download one, then you don't really
Okay, use the following information for the next two questions. So we have paired data, obviously. The null hypothesis is the means of the distribution is 0. The alternative hypothesis is they're not equal to 0. Standard deviation is not known. Jordan collects it, so you're going to use a t. Jordan collects a sample size of n equals 9 and computes assumes 2 by 2. What is the value of the test statistic? Okay, so you just plug it into that.
Plug it in where?
What exactly is this asking? Like, I mean, I get the value. But
With
because I've never used this thing, so.
Yeah, where are you plugging this in?
into quantitative inference procedures on the 2 sample t test.
So what number? Like what number?
Well,
I see the pace of those.
Yeah,
but
I
like
pulled the data and then
So he's just plugging in these, and then it does it.
the sample size of 9, so that's going to be important probably for the next question or whatever. Then and computes d equals. Oh well, no, actually you need this type of test. So what are we saying? We're saying it's not equal to 0. Is that the null or the alternative?
the alternative doesn't equal 0.
Yeah, not equal
the
to.
null equals 0.
Wait, I have the quantitative descriptive statistics open and it doesn't look like.
I think go to behind it. Yeah, then click on the 2 sample t test. That's the one you use.
I see.
Okay, so what are we looking for? The value of the test statistic?
Yes, like what number is
So
that?
if this
that
is
you
all
grab out of
right.
here?
Grab off here?
Yeah,
right
for
here.
the answer.
So the t.
It's literally just the t.
Yeah, I mean that's why they have it
Okay.
calculated on there.
Cool. Well,
As long as you have the not equal, right? And I think the confidence test. I guess they don't say that
Yeah,
it's
it doesn't say.
95, but I guess it's assumed. We'll find out.
What did you get for the answer?
0.473. The probability of obtaining a test statistic that is Jordan's test statistic is 0.043.
No way.
The probability to determine the p-value. The p-value.
You like got to watch. Oh. No way.
I wonder if we use the t probabilities thing then.
there's a formula actually to get the p-value.
Really?
Yeah,
No, it's right here.
But wouldn't you use the applet?
you can. Yeah.
Well, because there's the p-value here. Greater than. So then it is it 0.638? Whatever.
Wouldn't it be the opposite?
I actually did text.
The opposite.
Well, the p-value is out of 1, right? So 1 minus the p-value would give us the p-value for a test statistic greater than Jordan's test statistic. Why can't I freaking talk today? I don't know. Statistic. But anyway, yeah, because if it's out of 1, and you said
You just
that,
take 1 minus that.
that's what I was thinking. Because if you think about it as far as the applet, right?
Yeah.
You have your p-value, which is, you said it was 0.6 something or whatever.
Yeah.
Then that would be what the p-value would be for the normal, what we had already calculated. And then we're looking for what it would be if it was greater. So whatever would be left over would be greater, right?
Maybe. Yeah, because well, it should equal 1 minus whatever, but like, so it's like that's what's greater than it. So then everything else. So if you subtract that out, you're saying that's everything that's less than that,
Or equal to.
less than or equal to that.
And then the greater
But-
would be the opposite, right? I don't know.
I think it's close.
But for his hypothesis test, he's just saying it's not equal to 0. Because like suppose we have this, the null hypothesis is HO, and like this standard deviation is equal to 0. So that's the null. But everything else, like, so we're looking for anything else besides that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the odds that it's not equal to 0 are.
Probability.
But I just wonder if we just take the p-value off of this thing.
That's what I'm
and
thinking. I
run with
think
it,
that would probably just be it.
So it'd be 0.3 or 0.639.
Use the data. I'm a paired sample t-test. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go here, paired sample t-test.
To answer the next 6 question, perform a paired sample t-test in SPSS. Why does it keep mentioning that program?
Because it's retarded.
The program does look convenient though,
Which one?
SPSS, because like you just type in a few things and it spits
Oh
out everything.
yeah.
Okay, I'm plugging in the.
Wait,
I'm just plugging it in to the paired sample t-test.
wait. So the last one, then maybe we shouldn't have plugged stuff into the sample because I copied and pasted from data from this. But this is like, or
It doesn't say to use that.
yeah, it doesn't
for
say to
those.
use that.
Oh, why did you do that?
I don't know. I just
What the heck, Bruce? Just kidding.
Freaking Bruce.
so maybe we do have to use a little bit of.
Algebra.
You know I hate that. But I figured out how to do this one. You just plug it. Just copy and paste. And then we gotta plug in.
Set of paired data. Okay, the null hypothesis h equals 0. Okay, the standard deviation is not known. So we just need to pull out the old t-score equation then, right?
Yeah.
What is the t-score equation?
I can pull it up. I hope. It's the same as the z-score, except you swap out. It's like the population mean for like the sample size mean or something like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was like the same exact formula as the z-score.
Which is
we're
what?
redoing
It's something minus something. Yeah, we gotta redo this.
So it's the mean plus or minus the z-score, or
Mean
the
minus z-score.
times standard deviation divided by the square root of the sample size.
Divided.
Yeah, divided by. But you multiply. Oh, yeah, divided. Sorry, yeah, divided. I was looking at the wrong one.
Standard deviation over the population.
Yeah.
Square root. Okay, so the mean of this thing is what?
Well, we should have.
SD equals
I'll be on
3.2.
we're doing number 5, right?
I was talking about number 3.
Number 3, okay.
Just fixing that one. I don't know. Where's a D bar?
I think it's D bar. Because SD, that's the standard deviation. Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. U bar is the mean.
It's the same as like the X bar is what I mean.
Yeah. Standard deviation is not known. I don't know. It seems like we're missing something on this one.
That does, because it seems like you need the. Because it's something minus the mean. For that equation, we don't have that.
Yeah. It's that number. Whatever the number is minus the mean.
Yeah, unless you're greater than whatever.
They want to ask us to do an impossible problem. I don't think.
Yeah.
You could do the other
Cool.
problems anyway.
Wait a minute then. So SD is not standard deviation because it says the population standard deviation is not known. So SD is something else.
So that's probably right there. So standard deviation's not known, and then what?
So there was a formula, remember, to solve it with. Isn't that the t-score formula to solve it when standard deviation is not known? That's the t-score equation, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So.
It's 13. Just kidding.
The answer is 1.
As long as you say it confidently enough.
The answer is 1.
No question. Huh. So the old T-score. I need to actually make good notes for this class.
I got the answer for number 5. Yeah, that's the one second thing about this class. You can't really.
Yeah.
It is tomorrow.
Okay.
What is?
So.
All right.
So let's see. Because here's where it's talking about standard deviation of being known. It gives those two formulas.
Z times.
But both of them have the standard deviation in the formula. So it's like, I don't really understand how
Do that?
to do it.
Yeah, maybe this is something we should come back to then.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, then maybe the p-value is 1 minus that for this then. there's a possibility if it's not using the other thing. I don't know how else you determine the probability based off this test statistic, unless you did. I don't know.
I feel like there's just something they're not telling us.
Yeah, this is like weird because this is like completely different than the homework,
Yeah.
or not the homework, the prep assignment.
That seems to happen more now that we're like past chapter like 9. I feel like after the first exam,
Yeah, they just throw in
the
stuff
homework
now.
or the preparation assignment is one thing, and the next stuff is completely different. I feel like it used to relate a lot more.
The probability of obtaining a test statistic greater than Jordan said.
Wait, did we get the answer for number 3?
No.
We got it, but it was based off of formula or those numbers when it didn't say use those.
Yeah, so it's using the wrong
I mean,
number.
we technically have a number, but it's probably not right because it didn't say to use those numbers.
That's fun.
The probability of obtaining a test statistic greater than this is this. Use this probability to determine the p-value. I mean, we might use the t thing on this because at least if you know greater than his test statistic, but what is that number then? So that's a probability, but is that a p-value? You can only put, or is it because you can't put anything on the thing that isn't like a z-score or a t-score. Yeah, unless it's a z-score or a t-score, it's not going down on the bottom. But if is a probability an area? The probability is an area on one of those, so I could plug those up in the thing, right?
Yeah, the probability is this top one.
So I could just do 0.04. Yeah, 0.0403. 0.03. And then, well, that's greater than his test statistic. So his t-score is this right here, if that's what we're looking for. But the p-value, that's what we're looking for, not the t-score.
Well, we wanted the t-score for
For the first one?
the first one.
You got
3.472.
For the t-score?
Yeah.
How the heck did I get a different number? How many degrees of freedom are you on?
Oh, yeah, that'd be 3 degrees.
So I'm at 0.0202. Wins off.
So explain. Well, degrees of freedom, though, do we know that? Yeah, the degrees of freedom are 8 because there's 8 in the sample, or there's 9. Oh, that changes things.
Yeah. So
Well, well, no, I need to do 0.0403. 0.0403. I mean, yeah, so with 8 degrees of freedom, because it's n minus 1, which gives us the degrees of freedom, which is 8, and then with an area of 0.043, then the t-score is 1.999999999999999.
1.99.
Which is really just 2 then, if we're going to round it, right?
But does it say it around?
3 decimal places,
This one
1
doesn't
point.
say to do that.
Yeah, it does.
Number 4 says round to 3 decimals, but number 3 doesn't.
It says, when calculating anything, please remember to round to 3 decimal places unless otherwise specified.
Okay, so what are we putting for 3 then?
3 would be 1.999 if that's right.
Oh. And then did we get number 4?
Well, what is the p-value? P-value is the probability of, it's an area, or is it not?
That's a good question.
I know probability used to be the area, but I don't know if p-value is the same thing as that.
Okay. Looking it up.
I mean, you could just take 1 minus it, and that's a guess.
If I get
But
that
it-
wrong, just put it. The number they gave us.
Yeah, it could be a right guess.
What is the p-value? P-value is a level of marginal significance within this statistical hypothesis test representing the probability of the occurrence of a given.
0.9597.
Okay, so this
So 0.96 really.
But it said,
I don't think that's right.
but it said amount of the 3 decimal places. It'll be 0.97. All right, cool. So number 5.
You didn't want to lie.
Yeah, but you can't round it to just 3. Because if you round it to 3, it's 0.960. If it's the right number at all.
Because I remember actually I got this formula for the homework yesterday, based off the T-score and degrees of freedom. Based off the T-score we put 0.999. Degrees of freedom is 8. I got this 0.081. And this worked for the preparation assignment. It got me the right answer.
0.081.
But if our T-score is wrong, then this is wrong.
Oh, so you put in the T-score?
Yeah, I put in the T-score.
But the T-score is... I mean, the T-score is probably right, though. Because if this is truly the area...
So I'm going to go for this.
I'll go for that.
0.081.
Mhm.
So for number 5 and number 6, you just plug in the numbers into the paired sample t-test.
Yeah. And then for the next problem, you figure out that you did the last problem wrong. Anyway, like 40 more questions to go. Okay.
So this is the ones we got before.
What is the test statistic? Yeah.
0.473, right?
Yeah.
Wait, where?
Question 5. What is the p-value?
It says to use the paired sample t-test.
Mm-hmm.
So I plugged that in, and
Do you have it with the right parameters on it, though?
yeah, I think so.
Like it's at 0.95 not equal to, and
Oh.
assumed variance is no?
But
Or is it equal to?
Oh, I don't have the mean and the and
But hold on, because you actually are right. Because we were doing it under the 2 sample. He was doing the paired sample. It's a different tab
that's what it says to do.
down at the bottom, and
In
it
the
gives
instruction, it says paired
it gives you different numbers.
t-test.
Yeah, it gives you different numbers.
Yeah. What did you
Oh, because these are the differences. Okay. I can
Yeah.
see
So
that.
what did you guys get for the what did you put for the mean and
Because now after using this, you got the same
did you not
0.407.
put anything in?
We need to put. Okay, so the null hypothesis is 0 still.
Standard deviation is 0.1.
So the t-score is 0.047 or 0.407.
Yeah, do we put in those numbers though first up here at the top because they are empty?
They are what?
These
Empty?
ones are empty. Yeah.
Mean, standard deviation, and they're empty.
Do we have those?
Well, we know the
It
standard
gives us some
deviation.
of them.
Sigma.
Oh, actually, no.
I don't think it
It
gives us
doesn't
any
give
of
us
those.
any of them.
I think
yeah.
it's fine because it also calculates the mean and the standard deviation and all that jazz.
Yeah,
Okay. So I got the
0.407.
0.407.
What is your p-value? Point six-
0.689.
0.689.
What is the correct precision based on this?
Well, what is alpha?
Um,
0.10. And our p-value is 0.689, so it's failed to reject the null because the low or the null is p-value is higher than the
it's
null.
higher than yeah.
Suppose your alternative hypothesis is instead
Greater than
0. Man, these Greek letters.
So you would just change this to greater than, right? Yeah, because now your p-value would be 0.344. So the answer would be
Which is still is that's still greater than the alpha. 0.344. The alpha is 0.1
Where's the 0.344 coming from?
over here. Because you switch this to greater than,
Oh,
and it's 0.344.
so we have sufficient evidence the mean of the difference is greater than 0,
No.
or is equal to 0.
Well, it could potentially be because the confidence interval is negative 128 and positive 190. So that means that zero's in there, but
I think we have sufficient evidence the mean of the differences is equal.
we have
Zero.
insufficient evidence because you failed to reject the null is what you do.
And the null was equal to 0.
Yeah. So we have insufficient evidence that the mean of the difference is greater than 0. Yeah, that's true. We have sufficient evidence that the mean of the difference is greater than 0.
Well, no, we have sufficient evidence
Wait,
that
why
the
are those
mean
the
of
same?
the differences is equal.
Insufficient.
Because if you're saying it's a fail to reject the null, and the null is equal to 0, right?
Oh, but no. So this one's saying that the alternative. That's the alternative hypothesis. It's not the null.
What are you talking about?
Well, because you look. Suppose your alternative hypothesis is instead is greater than 0. So what is the correct decision based on this evidence?
I changed the thing in the thing that says type of test to greater than.
Yeah. You changed it to greater than.
Yeah.
But is this answer based off of greater than, or is it based off of equals to? Because that determines what we say is the answer.
So I'm pretty sure the null is always equal to. No, you're right. It's greater than. So we have sufficient evidence that the mean of the difference is greater than. We do have sufficient evidence that the mean of the difference is greater than 0. Because the p-value after you change it is still 0.34.
Well, it's a true statement. We have insufficient evidence that the mean of the difference is greater than 0 because of the confidence interval is negative and positive. So like it's 190 and it's 128, which means that 0 is within the range of possibilities.
So what's the answer?
So that's a true statement. I don't know if it's the right answer, but
Which one's the true
like
statement?
we have insufficient evidence that the mean of the difference is greater than 0 because it could be 0
Let's stick with
and it
that
could be less than 0.
one. On a paired sample
yeah,
because
that makes
again,
sense.
Where did
so we're performing a paired sample test.
those things where you have to download a bajillion things? Yeah. Or like the Spori is the best place to do stuff like this because you have like 2 monitors.
Yeah, in my house I have 2 monitors. It makes it super easy. I just hate downloading all this crap to my computer.
Be a good way to transmit viruses.
I was gonna say Wiki doesn't seem like it's super secure too. Like you could easily put something down there.
Yeah, but mine's a Mac, so I'm not worried. I mean, a Windows, I'd be very concerned.
Yeah, there's a lot more viruses made for Windows.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Really though, I hardly have any problems when I use my Mac.
Well,
But with a PC, I feel like I'm always being attacked.
it's because you have to have so many devices that work with Windows operations, everything about it.
Yeah,
What?
It's a monopoly.
Yeah, a beautiful walled garden.
Well,
Okay, be
what
sure
which is
that group
greater?
1 minus group 2.
So
Okay, group 1 minus group
I
2,
don't freaking know where is it.
because that does make a difference.
How do we
Okay.
know what n is? Oh, n is these numbers.
Which is greater,
2, 3,
N or DF?
9,
Well, what is so n is 22, or is it 44?
N is the different. It's all 22.
Well, it's the sample
It's all
size.
22. I plugged it in. It's all 22. So 22 to DF.
Well, yeah,
DF
because
is 21 and N is 22. So
Well, n's always greater because you always subtract one. Yeah.
N is
oh,
greater.
DF meaning the degrees of
Degrees
freedom.
of freedom. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
N's
So
al-
n's always going to be greater.
The p-value is 0.00.
I don't even know what we're talking about. Like we use all these words, but I really don't know what we're saying.
Same, like there's so much stuff that we say, and then I get to the test, and I'm like, I remember talking about that, but I don't remember.
What is the p-value? The p-value is
0.000.
How do we? But we can't even round that.
I guess you'd round it to 0.001, right?
or 0.006. There's no way. Oh, round to 3 decimal places.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
But I guess you'd round up, so it'd be 0.00.
Wait a minute. We have to change this to.
We probably do.
Because that would change.
Is it great?
Yeah, that would change it definitely.
Not equal to. Yeah, we need to change that.
Look at you bringing up all the technicalities. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
that
that
works.
did change it.
0.001.
It made it 0.001.
What decision did you make? Reject the null, fellow reject your null. Well, what is the significance? Is 0.01,
Sorry, guys.
and the p-value
So
was
it's
0.001.
smaller, so we would reject
The null. P is low. 10 of 19.
At least another 20 minutes. That's not 30.
You think so? We'll be done in 1. Tops.
I'm just gonna submit it right now.
Live a little.
I actually did that on my homework quizzes because I forgot about them last Saturday till like 10:30.
Oh, really?
I didn't have enough time, so I just submitted them.
Yeah,
I was watching a movie and I'm like, crap, I have some work assignments. So I like got on, had to do 2 of them before 11 or 11 or whatever it was.
I do all my classes in bulk and try to have them done by Wednesday.
That's
Life is good.
I prolong my stress through the whole week, which is
Rip the band-aid off.
yeah.
All right,
You
sorry.
decided to try another alternative hypothesis. This time you use
So
ha.
wait, number 11, did we reject it?
We reject. Just like I got rejected out of a business
This
competition.
time you use greater than again, so you change this to greater than.
Did the p-value increase or decrease? It decreased, right?
It decreased, yeah,
Yep.
Boom.
barely, but it did.
I feel like the homework quizzes are harder.
What decisions do you make?
I
Fell
would definitely agree
to
on that.
reject the null. Reject the
Um,
null. We reject the null still because it's lower than alpha. It's because it decreased. It didn't
Yeah.
increase. So
Based on your response to the previous question, what conclusion?
we have insufficient evidence. Now, what would we say? This is sufficient evidence. Because, okay, so we reject the null, so we have sufficient evidence that there's no mean difference between the 2 groups. Yeah, so that's, no, we would accept it then. No, yeah, so we have sufficient evidence to,
That there's a mean.
no, but the null, so we have insufficient. Because if we reject it was 0.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Between the 2 groups.
that there is, yes,
So,
between the two groups.
2 group.
Between the two groups.
There's no mean difference. We
We
have
have
ins-
seen the p-value.
That's why.
And hypothesis, we don't know which hypothesis will get the smallest p-value. So we're just checking.
As we've seen, the p-value depends on the alternative hypothesis. In general, which alternative hypothesis will give us the smallest p-value? Well, greater than?
Greater than
Definitely
so
greater
far
than,
has
yeah.
given us the
Yeah, it's greater.
What is this? This is like a little bonus box over here. What does it do?
what?
There's another secret box right there.
Where?
Right here. Little Easter egg.
Oh,
No, it's a whole different experience.
There's no way. What does it do? I won't do anything.
That's what you think. That's where all the answers are.
So
Okay, determine the 95% confidence interval for the mean difference between the two groups and put your answer below. What is the point estimate for this 95% confidence interval? Is it still going off the questions above?
Yeah, it's still the two centimeters.
So is it still should be greater than, or what did we have it set at before?
Last group had us set at
Not
Greater
equal
than.
to?
greater than 0. So that's what we should keep it as. So 95% confidence interval.
The
I don't-
point estimate? What was the point estimate again? It's like that first number that
The first one.
what's the definition of point estimate again? Because it's just that one number that goes at the front, but I don't remember exactly what it is.
A single value used to estimate the population parameter. For example, the sample mean X is a point estimate.
So we take a sample mean then. For the 95% confidence interval, so it'd be 11.955.
11.955
It's just the mean of,
difference.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I
What is the
believe.
margin of error for this confidence?
How do you calculate the margin of error? You just take the mean and subtract it by each part of the confidence interval? Is that true?
Honestly, that's always the question that gets me messed up on the homework quizzes.
Is that what you do?
This confidence actually did.
No, actually, I think that's right.
What is it?
Maybe it's not.
I built. What are the numbers?
Standard of error. Oh, standard error of the mean. Wait, what are we looking at? Margin of error. Margin of error. Standard of error. That's different. But if you take the mean and you go down 6 point,
If you want to give me the numbers, I have this formula that I built for.
you think it's
margin
better than
error.
mine?
Yeah. No, so maybe we can. I freaking hate my shit on this thing. So you test them, see if they're the same.
Yeah. So what are you saying? You need the mean. What do you need?
Actually, let's just go off here. So I don't feel like doing that.
6.652.
6.6.
Because the reason why I think that's right is because they both agree, which is usually a good sign. Because it's like a standard deviation. So if this is the mean, and you have to go down to this and then up to that, then
It's the same.
yeah. So
Oh,
it should be the
okay.
same distance
Yeah,
in between the two. So I mean,
definitely.
that's a good check.
Definitely, I agree with that.
What the heck is the lower bound?
The lower bound is 3 on the confidence interval.
5 point what?
303.
And the upper?
18.607. Okay, and that's the quiz.
That was a lot of questions. 19.
Let's see how many we get wrong.
Ton.
100%. Just kidding.
Loading.
95.
95, good enough.
I'm.
Wait,
Which one did we get wrong?
Oh,
the smallest
we did the wrong
p-value.
one. We did. Yep. We did, it was supposed to.
That's an easy correction.
This one? Wait, how are we wrong on that one now? I swear
Because
I just plugged it in. And that was the smallest.
Did we just get the direction wrong?
I think so. 'Cause
Where 0 is greater than.
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's worth my time to correct that.
It is worth your time or not worth your time?
It is. Well, it's like 95 or 100. It's like Celestial Kingdom or the lower degree of the Celestial Kingdom where they serve the people in the upper degree grapes or whatever.
Oh, bro. Oh, I gotta go, guys.
Choosing the Celestial
I mean,
Kingdom.
yeah. What if you show up and you think you're like highest degree of Celestial Kingdom material, and they're just like, no, you're in the
No,
lower.
you're
like-
not.
It's like, well,
You're not even close.
it's like if I'm that close, it's like, can't we work something out? You know?
Like, yeah, you got some of it, but get out.
You were close.
I'll redo it with
minus.
you.
I know, it's like I don't really feel like there should be an A minus on the test. I feel like there should be an A,
Or B.
or like I do
Or an
some
F.
corrective work, or like like I don't know, I come in for extra credit, or
I'm gonna switch it with you.
okay, yeah, we'll just do it. Life's
Watch,
too
now,
short to get
now
bad
I'm gonna
grades.
accidentally enter something that's wrong, so I'll
Sorry,
still get a
guys, I'm
95.
going to the-
It's all right.
You're good. We
Doesn't bother me.
just won't see you there.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
We'll come down and visit you, maybe. Just kidding.
Wait, how do you log out of these computers?
Top left.
This guy. Yeah.
I don't even have a Mac.
You should though.
Well, the thing is, the Mac I have, I never log out of because I don't need to. All right, guys.
Oh yeah, lesson 11. That's not the right
That
lesson.
was so good.
That was sick.
Good job.
So we're gonna be back again tomorrow.
Yeah. Honestly, though.
Freaking A.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd rather get it out.
Yeah, no,
Way.
no, I agree.
Yeah, I already have it done. So
Do you really?
yeah,
Hey, you're telling me you do that.
Celestial Kingdom.
I just want to be done. Well, I gotta go on the cruise, so I'm like doing 2 weeks worth of homework this week, and it's quite the project. Okay, wait, this one's 12.
All right, have a good one, guys.
See ya.
Yeah, see you later.
I'm gonna enter something else wrong, so I still get it.